All right, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Today's going to be an exciting video. It actually is sort of serendipitous. I happen to be watching Mishaco's channel, and he literally made a video. This is April 17th, 2020. Um, the video was about whether to buy or comparing WASR10s and SLR 107 Bulgarian, so Romanian WASRs, Bulgarian SLR 107s. I was making this decision over the last couple of weeks before I decided to buy a WASR 10. And so it was kind of funny. I literally, he made the video about the same kind of choices I was looking at, like, over the last couple of weeks. So it was sort of really strange timing. Anyways, right now we're in the middle of the COVID-19 outbreak pandemic thing. Everybody's dying, everybody's sick, and everybody's shut down. Nobody's going to work. Sorry, guys. And so I figured I'd panic button. No, I was kidding. I've been wanting to get a new AK. I figured now would be the best time because with the imports being shut off, I should just get one now and have it, just in case. My fighting rifle is a WASR 10. I can cannibalize parts off this new rifle for the old one if something breaks, whatever. I'm familiar with the WASR 10. I have a bunch of Romanian parts lying around from both parts kits that I've built myself and new old stock that I've just bought to, maintain my fighting rifle. The reason why I chose the WASR was because I know they're reliable. I'm used to them. I have parts for them, a bunch of parts. The price is like $300 or $400 cheaper for a WASR than it is for an SLR 107, and so therefore I was able to get some Bakelite mags, some more steel mags, a bunch of ammo, and some other stuff with the money I saved. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and show you this 2020 WASR 10. It's a 2020 production. It's date stamped on the trunnion. I will kind of show you. I'll actually show you. There's a difference between this current trunnion and the trunnion on my older WASR. I'll show you those differences. I'll show you kind of the pros and cons of this new style WASR. I'll show you my old WASR, then put them side by side. And I'll show you what I'm going to do to change the new WASR into what I'm going to like. And then I'll kind of do some mag fitting and stuff like that, because there are some issues with fitment. I might actually have to send this to Century Arms to get them to rejigger the mag catch, because some of my mags don't lock in. I don't have a problem with that with my 2018 model, which is my fighting rifle. So that one runs 100% of all the mags that I have. This new one, maybe it needs to be broken in a little bit more. It's brand new, so I don't know. Maybe I need to do a little bit of filing on some surface here or there. I got to take a look at it. I just got it today, so. Oh, that's the other thing. I ordered this from Atlantic Firearms. They had a few left. They were saying, oh, this is the last stock we have for a little while, possibly months. So I picked one up. I asked for a specific serial number sequence. They provided that for me, which was really cool because 5 is my lucky number. They gave me same day shipping, and it was 2-day. So from when I ordered it, it shipped out that same day. Not like, so on their website, it says 5 to 8 day wait time, then ship. They shipped it same day, and it took 2 days to get here. So I ordered it on Wednesday. It was here on Friday. Amazing. With no extra cost to me. Plus, they included a cleaning rod in my rifle, so that's good. So yeah, I'll go ahead and show you the gun now that I'm done rambling for like 5 minutes. This is a 2020 dated WASR 10. WASR stands for WASR arrangement, which is the trade agreement that the Romanians have that deal with firearms and other kind of trade goods. This is so it's WASR arrangement model 10. That's kind of what WASR10 stands for. This is a stamped receiver, AKM. Now, a question I have for the AK experts out there: if the AKM has a scope rail, is it not technically an AKM-N? I know the Russians, their scope rail AKMs were called AKM-Ns. I don't know if that ties into the, stamp receiver, just AKs from Romania or whatever. That's just, I'm not an encyclopedia on AK, so I don't really know what that, if that is an AKM or if it's just an AK with a scope rail. Either way, this gun has a scope rail, which is really cool. These come into the country different from how it looks now. But before I talk about that, I kind of want to make a note to anybody who's really paying attention to like date stamps on AK trunnions. It's sort of a niche thing, but every Romanian trunnion I've seen that from the new production model from like 2014 till now, they always have like a 2-letter or a letter and a number prefix. Like, so both of these are A1, then the serial number, dash, whatever the date is. So this one's 20. So dash 20. All of the ones that I've ever seen have RO after that. This 2020 model has ROA. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the A stands for, but every other one I've seen has just RO at the end of the serial number. So it's just something to note. Maybe I'm the only one who's ever noticed that, but this trunnion has ROA at the end of the serial number. Just a little, thing to say. But anyways, these come into the country, 2 Century Arms with a thumb hole stock, different handguards. The muzzle nut is tack welded onto the front side base because of our stupid import laws. The other thing to note is when you're shopping for a WASR, there are 2 modern variants of these new production ones. One is the GP WASR RI 18026-N, and this one is an 1805-N. You want the 1805-N because the 26, the VIN number, when you're looking at the item description online, if you're buying one of these online, the RI 18026-N has a flat muzzle nut and an unusable bayonet lug. So the bayonet lug cannot be used to put bayonets on. The 1805-N, which is this model and the one below me here, those have usable bayonet lugs. So I went for this one because I knew it was the complete feature rifle. So like I said, these come in thumb hole stock, single stack magwell, Romanian fire control group, different gas tube and handguard, and a tack welded muzzle nut. Now I don't know if these don't come in from Romania with a cleaning rod, but for some reason, Century is not selling these with cleaning rods. So Atlantic Firearms added one into the gun for me, which is good on them. Thank you. Another plus. So what Century does is they take off the thumb hole stock. They add a actually really sturdy polymer pistol grip. I like these knife handles. I know a lot of people change these out, but I really like them. They changed the Romanian fire control group to a rack 1 trigger, which I'm going to talk about that after I get done with the rest of this. They open up the magwell to accept standard capacity 30 round, 20 round, 10 round, 75 round drums, 40 round RPK mags, just standard capacity double stacks. And they cut the nut off and put a sugar scoop on here. So kind of another thing about the mag, I'll get into that, but the trigger group. I'm going to, and I have on all my import guns, I'm going to put it back in the original country manufactured trigger hammer, just the hammer. So this is a rack 1 trigger. It's a really nice trigger, but the hammer itself, that component, is hard as hell. I'm going to avoid damaging my bolt carrier tail because that's the piece that interfaces with the hammer. I'm going to avoid damaging that by taking that rack 1 trigger hammer out and replacing it with a new WASR10 Romanian trigger hammer, just the hammer part. I'm gonna put it back in. Um, I got a couple of those from Lee's Mags. They sell a bunch of AK stuff, parts, and things like that. Um, their Romanian trigger hammers are like $3, and I have a bunch of them. So the WASR, my older WASR10 has, you know, Romanian hammer, just a hammer. But what that will do is prevent any deformation because both the parts are heat treated to a similar Rockwell hardness, so they won't peen one or the other as it travels over. The WBP Fox, I did that same thing with because Rob Ski, his WBP Fox, after he did his 5,000 rounds, the carrier tail was beat to shit because Rack 1 trigger hammers are hard. So I swapped mine out right away when I first got my WBP Fox. I've had no carrier tail deformation. Same for my fighting rifle, which is my WASR10 down there. No carrier tail deformation. I've done it with my AES-10B. That has a Romanian trigger hammer in it. I don't think mating an American-made trigger hammer with a foreign-made bolt carrier, they're never going to be, you know, similarly heat treated. Nobody's going to know what is what except for when it comes in from the original factory. So the OEM hammer is going in this gun. The other thing is I have some issues with this particular WASR fitting certain mags in, and it is hit or miss, man. I tell you what, some of my surplus mags will work in this, some of them will not. I've never had this issue with a WASR10 ever. It's not that big of a deal because I have a bunch of new production steel Bulgarian mags, and all of those fit. So there's no issue there. I have plenty of mags to put into this gun if I want to shoot this a lot. And I'm not worried about, oh, I don't have mags I can use with this gun, or I have to figure out which ones. I know which ones are the Bulgarians. I can put these in. They work just fine. So yeah, other than that, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to change this around to make it the way I want it, because this wood is crappy and it has a proven track record of splitting under heat, burning under heat, and walking out from repeated impacts from recoil. The screws will walk out of this what this is silver maple, and it's real cheap. If you watch the RAS-47 5,000 rounds from AKOU, this butt stock, this wood material, the silver maple, got real loose after 5,000 rounds, which is nothing for an AK. The upper handguard, the gas tube cover, will crack under heat and cooling. And in the lower handguard, just the handguard, will start burning if you shoot too fast or too much. So I'm throwing all this stuff, getting it off, and I'm going to put on laminated proper milsurp wood. Now these are pieces that I've refinished, but there's a little interesting story. So I've built a couple of AKs in the past. I got a bunch of spare parts lying around. This is a buttstock from a model, I think a Model 65 Romanian. So it's got a little bit of character, a few dings and scratches, but it's in really great shape. The screw holes are nice and concentric. They're not wallered out like some I've seen. I'd say this is in very good shape. But the butt plate I refinished. I used real high quality enamel and repainted it. Just did the works. Same for the sling. Just really did a nice job refinishing this in kind of a Russian-y red brown. Same for this dong. Now this is an underfolder dong, and I like these because of the sweep of the grip. I don't have any trouble getting my mags out past it. I've never had any trouble reloading with the dong in the way. I actually was able to refinish it and keep the serial numbers. It's got a little bit dusty because it's just been out here, or not out in my garage, but in a box. So I'm going to put this on. This is supposed to go for an underfolder, but I like the second vertical grip. It really helps control the AK. And it just looks nice with the buttstock. if you've seen my Norse AK video that I did, I customized a M10 DIY, carved knotwork all over the wood, and engraved all over the receiver. I used one of these as my front handguard. And then I have a Russian gas tube cover that I'm going to be putting on this, because this is laminated as well. It's not a hardwood one, so it won't split and crack from heat and cooling. It's laminated, so it's nice and tough. The other thing I'm going to do is add a WBP enhanced safety selector. With that, it has a big paddle out the side that I can use to flip the safety selector down and up with just my index finger. And I'll show you that on my fighting rifle, because I got one on there. But other than that, I'll keep it sort of stock with the laminated furniture. The other thing I'm going to do is add this blast from the past, which is my first WASR10 it was a 1063. I picked it up in 2010 for $350. It came with this sling, this bayonet, a 2-cell mag pouch, 2 surplus steel mags, and a cleaning kit with the gun for $350. That was a 1063. Of course, that had a little bit of canting. Now, they've really stepped up the quality control at Cougar. The issue that old 1063 had was the front trunnion, the barrel trunnion. Your barrel presses in there and the pin passes right here. It has these 2 wings on the side. Right there. You can see where the pin is, the barrel pin. There's that angled piece right there. That's just like from the front, there's these 2 ears that stick up like this, and your rear sight block fits like that, or I guess like this in there. Now, for whatever reason, the fitment wasn't quite right, and those parts were off. That rear sight block was off to the right on the 1063. So it actually pulled the gas block to the right and my front sight index to the right. So I had to zero my rifle by putting the front post out to the left all the way. Straighten my shots out just fine, but it was visibly, everything was over for whatever reason. I don't know if it's a problem with their jigs or whatever, but I just noticed that with this rifle and the 2018 model, there's no issue with canting or anything like that. Rivets are pressed nicely. They're Romanian pressed rivets. So, if you've got a WASR, you know that they're not like the prettiest. It's whatever. They're done right. Nothing's too deep or too shallow. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do to that rifle. I'll show you my fighting rifle now. This is a WASR10 2018 production. This is my favorite AK, besides my RPK. This one is kitted out with Arsenal USA polymer 74 style butt pad, butt stock with a cleaning kit in the back. A Arsenal style polymer with a heat shield. A Russian, like a Molot RPK gas tube cover. Actually, I like it because it's got the ribs. This is a real heat resistant polymer. I have put the Romanian trigger back, or the hammer back in this gun. Not just the rack one trigger is still in there, but the hammer is Romanian instead of the American one. This came with a scope rail. I've added an aperture sight in the back. So if you can see, it's an aperture rear sight, which I actually did some measuring, and between this and the standard leaf rear sight, the position of the front post in relation to the center of the peep is actually in the same location. It's the same height. So what I've done is essentially given myself an aperture with my front post being in the same spot. I took calipers and like micrometers and I actually measured this and found out it actually ends up in the same location. I'm just looking through a peep in the back here, and it's much easier to pick up targets at further distances. At 100 yards, I can get about a 2-inch group with this rifle. That's good with open sights. It's just fine for me. So that I like that. I like that for my fighting rifle. It's very, very easy for me to pick up targets. I get right on when I look through there. I do have the enhanced safety selector from WBP, so I can, from a low ready, I go down, bang, 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 and I can put the safety up and down with my trigger finger. So it's very easy to use. And finally, besides the Russian sling, I have a Kyber custom flashlight mount. And this actually allows me to use my cleaning rod through it. And it's real unobtrusive. I can use my thumb, turn on, and it's real easy. The gun is nice and light. You know, I'm used to it. It accepts all my magazines. I have no mags that won't fit in this gun. So I'm very happy with this gun. This was actually, I bought it for a real good deal, brand new too. So it's just, this is my fighting rifle. So I'm very happy with it. So yeah, I'll show you the two guns side by side here. And I'll do a little bit of mag fitment on the new one to show you kind of my issue. So old, new. Not so old. This is like a 2-year-old gun. This one's a brand new gun. Now I will show you mag fitment. I have the fattest mags that I own, which are these Magpul P mags. Fits in just fine. No wobble, no movement front to back. Comes out easy. Slimmest ones I have are these KCI 20 rounders. Now, the 30 round KCI mags I think are not worth buying. I've had a couple and I sold them immediately because I had feeding issues with every single one. Not the 20 rounders. These 20 rounders are so good, man. A buddy of mine and I have been torture testing these, and he literally spiked his into some gravel and dented the floor plate up, dented the feeding lip on the one side here, and it kept running, kept feeding. He reloaded it several times and it kept feeding. No malfunctions out of any of them. We buried one of them. It works just fine. These are good. For what you pay, which is like $9, maybe $8, 20 rounds. There's a benefit with having a lower capacity. You can load the full mag and it feels relatively similar to a full AK mag. So when you're doing your shooting drills, you feel like you have relatively the same amount of weight. So if you're doing reload drills, you have the same kind of weight. But it's not so much ammo where you're taking forever to shoot all your ammo and then reloading. You can reload more often using 20 rounders and then put a new, for practice. So there's benefits to that. Plus these are inexpensive and they're reliable. I'm actually quite astonished by these. Now I'll show you the new production Romanian drum in this. Fits just fine. So 75 round drum fits just fine. This is this Chinese style open, you can open the back end. Now what's sad is I have a Romanian top loader in this particular gun. I'm going to work on this to get this to try and fit all my mags. For whatever reason, this Romanian top loader will not snap closed on the drum. I don't know why. Same for this, I think this is a Hungarian mag. Will not close on it. And I think it has something to do with the lockup on the tab in the back there versus the surface on the mag retainer. Now, I have another Hungarian. Locks in just fine. And it comes out just fine. So There you go. Not mess that up. But a little bit of wobble. So I'm going to have to look through all my mags. I've done a little bit of digging as far as this goes, and I haven't looked at all my surplus mags, but I have a bunch of new steel Bulgarians that are like new production. They all work. So that's good. I got a ton of those, and I'm not worried about, oh, I'm going to run out of mags to shoot. I don't know which ones to put in. I know which ones will work, and there's a bunch of them. It's just these old surplus ones are hit and miss with this. So this one fits. WBP translucent mags work just fine. These tend to work in everything. I haven't seen a single AK that hasn't been able to put these in them. This is I don't know who makes this, if this is a Polish or if this is some AK mag I picked up for practice, whatever. This does fit, but it like locks in quietly. It's like in there, but it like doesn't click in. It's the weirdest thing ever. So like it's in there, but no click. So I don't really know what to make of that. I've had no issues feeding this through my other WASR, so you know, like I said, here's a brand new steel Bulgarian. They're coming into the country, or they were before this COVID thing. But I got a bunch of these. I jumped on these when I first saw these. So these are really good, reliable. Polymer follower, so it won't rust inside there if you leave them out in your garage or whatever. Steel floor plate, steel body. Very, very similar to the old surplus steel, but just with a plastic follower on the inside. This snaps in. So this works. A little bit tough getting out, but it's fine. It's a new AK, so yeah. Just a little bit of quirkiness with this one. Not sure why it's being weird with some of my mags when my 2018 WASR eats every damn mag I put in it. So I'll show you. Old one. You know, Bulgarian. Romanian top loader. In. Romanian back loader. In. WVP. In. Hungarian. In. Random milsurp. In. Random polymer whatever mag. It's still silent. On every AK I put this one in. This mag, it's silent, but it's locked in. It's in there. Like it's not going anywhere. I don't know what. So this is a night of peculiarities. Fortunately for this new WASR, it does accept a bayonet. I'll go ahead and clumsily put this on here. I haven't put a bayonet on in so long, which is a real shame. I think everybody should practice putting bayonets on, affixing bayonets as much as possible. So this you know, here you go, American Freedom, die commie. So anyways, I'm going to take this bayonet off when I'm done fooling around so I don't cut myself open. So that's at least good. The bayonet lug works. So yeah, it's just a little weird and quirky that some of these mags won't fit. I'm going to definitely take a look at this. I got some bake lights coming, so I'll see if they fit in this. Just the nature of the beast with with some of the WASRs. Now, before you poo-poo this for, oh, it doesn't take all the mags, my 106 Arsenal had a hell of a time trying to find mags that fit it. The FB Ratum mags wouldn't work through it. They would constantly jam. The only ones that worked were the black Circle 10s. Even the translucent ones, they had issues feeding through that. That's part of the reason why I sold that. Now that may be just an issue with the 106 rifle in general. If you own one of those and you have no problem with yours, it's fine. AKs are all different because they're, you know, their own beasts. I'm sure this will shoot just as good as my older one, and just as good as the 1063 I got. It's there, you know, it's just a WASR. So again, I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on with the mag lockup. I'm not exactly sure what is wrong with this, but I'll get down to the bottom of it. But anyways, that's old and new WASR10s. My favorite style AK besides RPKs. I don't even know if those are technically AKs anymore, you know, or ever were. So anyways, thanks for watching. Sorry it was a long video. I thought this was going to be 5 minutes, but I ended up tangenting for half an hour. So thanks again. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.